Get out of here. Come on. Yo, peace.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Lightwalkers!
Yo, we back, episode 5 of the Lightwalkers podcast. Your brethren, Chris Lyon.
Lord Cashus D.
We back at you with your weekly dose of knowledge and wisdom, man, coming right from the vortex, man. Yeah, man, respect. Give thanks for everybody tuning in, joining with us here on this rainy, spring, wind-based, a couple of days after the equinox, man.
We had a good sweat, didn't we?
Yo, it was a
real good
sweat.
A real good sweat.
Real talk.
Ooh, I'm going to show y'all some of the pictures of the sweat lodge. Now, I posted some of them, and I'm going to post them again so y'all can see the sweat lodge we built in the back of where we at.
Yeah, man.
You know, we did a sweat for the equinox. Yesterday was the new year. Happy New Year to all those that celebrate the new year. Yesterday was the new year, the new beginnings, the new renewal.
The real new year.
You know, we had us a sweat. It was good, too. That was good. That was good.
Deep sweat, man. Yeah. You know, every time we come out feeling cleansed, man, feeling clean, purification, man, free from bad mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, we got Lightwalkers podcast coming up live, don't we?
Straight up, right around the corner here, man.
Yeah, we got Sunday, man, March 26th.
Yeah, man.
We got the Lightwalkers podcast coming up. That's going to be at 357 East 79th Street in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? At King Solomon's. So I want y'all to come out. It's going to be from 3 to 7. It's limited seating. You know what I'm saying? Come on in. We're going to put a price on it. We're going to make it free. It's donation based. And we got merch pop up, Green Party pop up, Ancient Mystics there. You know how we do it. We got herbal sciences going on there. So it's going to be a whole show. Man, more than just a podcast, a show. So we want y'all to come out and check us out. I got a little bit of spring cold. So while I'm having a little bit of spring cold, I'm going to have me a little what they call dragon's blood. Dragon blood is a tincture that's made from spices and cannabis. And this actually would break up some of that cold in your chest. It's from your spring cold.
Tastes just like a bottle of medicine.
Yeah, this is dragon blood. This is a nice one. This particular dragon's blood right here is made with white rum. Made with white rum, spices, and cannabis. And it's a tincture. It's not an alcohol. It's a tincture, but it's alcohol. Look at that.
Good dose of meds, man. It don't even have a powerful bite like the alcohol. It seems like the alcohol is kind of rendered off, but it's a goodness, man. Good medicine up in there, man.
This is that medicine.
Good spices.
Oh, the spices, delicious.
Straight up, you taste it.
You can get a bottle of this from y'all. All y'all do is message me. I got this. I got strong back. We got several different brews we're working on with Ancient Mystics. You know, we keep products. We also got School of the Ancient Mystics coming up.
Yeah, man.
That's going to be coming up in late April. We'll get ready to go outside and deal with the garden. We're looking for some people to intern in our garden this year, too, a couple of days a week. You know, we out here in Gary, so DM us so you can get in the garden.
Straight up, forward.
What else good news going on?
We got a lot of grand things going on, man. We're getting right to the heart of our season. You know, it's been a long winter, man. Everything been tight, man. You know, everything been dry and dead around us, but everything's starting to come to life, man. And you know, it's time we start getting back out to the great foraging adventures, man. Hiking up in the bush, man.
I love that shit. I miss that. I miss that.
Likewise, one of my grand pastimes, man.
You know what I would like to do to start this off, to start our topic off with tonight?
What do you say?
I'd like to talk about the sun.
Let's talk a little bit about it, man.
You know, we just mentioned that we just came to an equinox Monday.
Straight up.
I like to talk about the sun.
Yeah, man, let's talk about it, man. It's something that lies roughly 93 million miles away from the planet, this so-called planet Earth, you know, and it's something that's so grand that we always fail to give credit to, man, for how much power and life it gives to, especially for the melanated peoples of the world, man. It's really that recharge, especially come springtime, man. It's such a grand being, you know, the powers that it emits, the fusions of protons and electrons going on there, and everything that happens here on Earth when the sun is launching off these solar flares or these coronal mass ejections, the way it affects the body and the way it affects the planet in general. You know, without the sun, there wouldn't be life as we know it.
You know what?
What do you say?
You smart.
Got a little knowledge up in the memory banks, you know what I'm saying? Little bit of something for the peoples, man. We could always dive deeper, but like you scratch the surface, man.
Hey, you know what they say? That's deep.
Yeah, you understand? There's something deep, man.
Yeah. Because the sun right now we're at a point of the sun where it's coming to planting season.
Ooh, right.
Sun that came a little closer to the earth.
Yeah, man.
And after this equinox, we get ready. But we got about 3, maybe 4 weeks before we put stuff in the ground.
Man, we're getting close.
What's the almanac saying about putting stuff in the ground?
We just want to be careful, man, because as you can see over the years, man, over these past 3 years, the seasons and the weather and the climate has really started to change, man. Start to move in a different direction. We really have relatively no winter up here. We get a little bit of snow, and which is not a good thing because it leaves the ground unsaturated. We need a lot of water in the ground for the plants and the trees to tap into, in order to get that good jump start on the season. But we ain't had a lot of that this year, so it's kind of unfortunate. So the almanac is saying that we're looking at a cold springtime, roughly pushing up to like May or June. It's going to be relatively cold, a little bit below average temperatures, man. But to say that is to say that, we know everything about, the seasons and such, man. But things are constantly changing around here due to man-made things. And because Mother Earth is a sentient being, she's also going through changes as well, man.
Yeah.
So we have to be mindful.
You think we'll have a drought this year?
They're
we're
calling
not getting
for a lot
water. We're not getting no water.
Overstood. They're calling for a wet springtime, so here pushing on into June, we're looking at a wet springtime.
A real wet springtime.
And maybe even a late snow possibly passing through. So we have to see what that's going to look like. Because remember, a few years ago, we done lost, almost 500 plants, man.
Yeah,
because of a late push of snow coming in.
I'll never forget that.
Oh, that was
all
rough.
That hard work, man. We all them plants we incubated, and man, we lost all of that. And we learn as we grow.
Yeah, that's a farmer mind every time.
So we can look back at that because back then that was crushing.
Yeah, man.
But we can look back at it now and say,
straight up.
What I'm saying? We survived it.
One thing I do want to say though too, man, is since we're right at the time of starting seeds, man, about having good vibrations, good intentions, man, positive spirit when we're dealing with seeds and such, man. Because if we're gonna germinate or sprout seeds like ganja seeds, man, or cabbage seeds, or greens, or tomatoes, we want to be we don't want to be handling these things just as if we were out in the bush harvesting plants. We don't want to handle it with bad mind, bad things on our mind, bad vibration, bad spirit. So it's very important that we
have none of that.
No, you put that energy into the plants, you're going to get a bad product,
Yeah, that's bush talk.
Oh, absolutely. You understand?
I had to stop some people in the bush one time. We out there picking some red clovers, and they out there talking about traffic tickets. Man, if y'all don't cut that out, you're supposed to concentrate on what you're doing. When you're out there gardening, you're supposed to concentrate on what you're doing. Your meditation is in the soil.
Straight up.
It's in the soil. It's in the work that you're putting in. It's in the cultivation of the plant nature. That's where your meditation is. You're not supposed to be talking about nothing. This is a time when you free your mind outside because you're in nature.
Straight up, man.
So it showed that time.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm excited myself, man. It's been a long winter time, man. So let's see what we have to bring to fruition, man. But yeah, nonetheless, man, we got a lot of grand adventures coming up, man. A lot of hiking adventures coming up. We want to put together a couple of mushroom foraging trips, man. Whether or not we travel a little bit south to Brown County, or even if we take trips out to places like Cahokia Mounds down in southern Illinois, doing trips like that to really bring about the historical knowledge, man, and tap into spirit. It's very important that we
need about 14 people to go to Cahokia with us. We get 14 people that DM us and set up the trip with us. We can go to Cahokia Mounds, which is the largest pyramid mound in North America.
Straight up. You
see what I'm saying? We want to go and climb the mound and go up there and have a good time. So y'all let us know. I think we're gonna be kicking that off right in June. Yeah. So about the equinox.
About the solstice.
Yeah, the solstice. We just came out the equinox.
Roughly right. June 21st or so. I believe it's June 21st this year. So
that's something to tap into. Tonight I want to tap into spiritual world.
Yeah, man.
I want to start this Lightwalkers podcast series off dealing with the unclean spirits and what they call the fallen ones. Now, when I deal with this, I want to deal with this not as a religious perspective, but more of a historical, scientifical, and religious aspect. You got to have it because it all kind of match up.
Absolutely, man. Right. They play a role.
we want to talk about the fallen ones, what they call Lucifer.
The fallen ones they fall into the same category as what they call the Watchers.
You're there. We are there. But before we get into that, I want to explain why I'm talking about this, why this is a conversation.
Yeah.
Because our present day music and television and waves that we're taking in, frequencies, are controlled by these unclean forces.
Sure enough.
Now, these unclean forces, people say, well, oh, man, that's no, this is real.
Yeah.
This is real. There's too many people in the world hailing to it. There's too many people in the world seeing it.
Oh, man.
You see, the forces is there. You feel it. You feel it in your neighborhood. You know that music we listening to is dark. We know that it's a demonic spirit. They tell you it's on demon time.
Straight up, man.
You see?
They calling out these people. They saying this cat's a demon. This person's a demon.
Yeah.
This ain't jokey stuff,
and
man.
we think it's allegoricus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just use I put the gorkis on the end of allegoricus.
Yeah, man.
You see what I'm saying?
They exaggerated
This
like
is
so.
demon time. And we want to talk about the fallen ones because in the story of the fallen ones, when I speak of the fallen ones, I speak from books like the Book of Enoch, the Sumerian text. I speak from the book what they call that book, the Rantha. It's another deep one, the Rantha.
Damn.
You see what I'm saying? I speak from those books that speak of these beings, these celestial beings who came down. Even in the Christian Bible, it talks about the sons of God came and got with the daughters of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Laid with the daughters of the earth and produced the Nephilims, the giants.
Nephilims, yeah, absolutely.
Okay? That's in the Christian Bible. So that's why I say we have to base it all up together.
Yeah, it's historical in a sense when it's tied in biblically, man.
And one of the things I was looking at how they remove the Book of Enoch out the Bible.
Yeah, that thing was taken out. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but during one of the councils of Nicaea.
Yeah, because they couldn't let you. They couldn't let you know the powers of what is, because that would ruin their masking of God, what they call God, what they created for you in religion. You know, and in the Book of Enoch, one of the books, the Watchers. Now he got another book that's bad in that book and in the scriptures too. It's the Book of Secrets. Am I saying that right? Book of Secrets that's in the Enoch. But he got the Watchers. The Watchers were considered the seraphims. The seraphims were, this is a story. They said that these beings were the seraphims. They came and they were the serpent giants. And there was 200 of them that came to the planet. And they came down through Mount Hermon, which is between Syria. It's on the coast, on the corner of Lebanon, between Syria and Israel.
This is by Mount Sinai?
No, but it's called Mount Hermon.
Mount Hermon?
Yep. And these 200 beings came down to watch over and teach mankind. Now, the head of them was Samazah, or Samazah. Samazah is what you call Santel, or Satan. This is dealing with the same story of the fallen angels.
Sure enough.
You
said there was 200 fallen angels.
There were 200.
And Lucifer was one of them.
Was one of them. Or Samazah, that's what they call it, Samazah. You see? That's what they called him. And they said they all came down through the portholes in Mount Hermon, right there on the borders of Lebanon, between Syria and Israel. Now, I'm saying this because this culture spoke about all over the world. It's not just coming from the Sumerian text. And they found that in 1949, when they discovered the Sumerian text, they found thousands of panels of these stories coming out of that. The ancient, they talk about the ancient, even in ancient Mexico. What's the god name?
Kukulkan.
Kukulkan.
The ancient Aztec serpent god, man.
Okay.
It was like the sun god.
He was a seraphim.
Yeah.
Which meant giant serpent.
Absolutely.
Now, they also mentioned the Anunnaki in the book.
That's ancient Sumer,
And the
right there.
Anunnaki were serpents. They were reptilians.
Yeah, they said there was like
Half man, half
half-
reptilian. That's a story that we all heard, right?
what they say, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but just to chime in again, another culture that speak about the same being is the Dogon Zulu out of Mali.
Yeah.
You know, they talk about the Momo. You know, which were half man, half fish.
And
nonetheless,
the
just chime
Inca
in.
call it the Veracoco.
Veracoco, man.
Or the Veracoche, which said came down from the heavens and taught mankind mathematics, arithmetic, war, taught mathematics, science, math and war, taught metal work. You see, Samazel was said the Mount of Mount Hermon that taught humankind magic and medicine. And the first medicine ever was taught was herbs from the planet.
Straight up, man.
Now, this is Sumerian text. Now, I'm saying this because there's a whole big thing where they give you a Christian story about Adam and Eve and the serpents.
Okay.
You know, what you think? Jump in there with me, because because I know this is a very pinchy story.
Something about the reptilian nature of things, and I think it all has to do with like a metaphysical approach, man, an esoteric approach. You know, when they talk about the serpent, man, when we think about the human mind, the human brain, you know, we have those two different parts of our mind that are reptilian in nature, and others that are what do they call it, man? I'm trying to think of the right word, but for like monkeys and stuff like that. I can't think of the other name to put on that, but we got those
mammals.
No, primate. Primate. Yeah, okay.
Primate.
So we got the primate part of the brain, and we got the reptilian part of the brain, and these two things, they coincide with each other. So I think that a lot of these stories are allegorical in a sense when they punch these things in there.
But now all of these cultures talk about these ancient beings that came out of the what they call, when they say the heavens, they mean out of the outer galaxy.
Sure enough.
And they came, and all of them tell the same story, how they taught mankind.
Absolutely. There's got to be something deep in there, man. Something deep about the symbolism between this, about the serpent. There's got to be some type of symbological resonance of the serpent right there, man.
That's deep. Because I want to ask people, do you acknowledge these stories that they don't teach this?
Yeah.
The Catholic Church covered this up so that you would never know.
Well, you know, they say the serpent gets such a bad connotation, man. You know, but there's a lot of goodness involved in the serpent, man. They say the serpent is like a symbol of wisdom in a lot of different cultures out east, and like the Far East. We think about how the Asian cultures, the Taoists or the Buddhists, they always talk about the dragon. You know, the dragon is another reptilian being, a serpent. You know, and they say
the winged serpent,
absolutely, the flying serpent. They say he came down to help the poor, man. This dragon being came down to help the poor, man.
Now that's funny how in all the cultures that's the same thing. They came down to teach mankind. They never say they came to destroy mankind.
That's what they do. They come to teach and then they leave. This is very interesting, man, because we think of all these UFO and alien stories we be hearing about, man. They talking about, you know, these aliens are coming down to Earth and what are they doing, this, that, and the other. Well, let's think of it, man, from like a galactic point of view. If there is so many civilizations of different races of different beings out there that may have come in and seeded this so-called planet Earth.
Now, I'm going to say something controversial.
What do you say?
I know this is going to be controversial.
Yeah, shake it up.
I'm going to say this real controversial. If these beings are all the serpent gods and they would be considered Satan, Samazel was the first one, the first name of them, Samazel. And they all considered Satan. And we keep saying that these things come down here to help mankind. Could Satan be nice? Could be good?
This is the controversial part right here.
Could Satan be something that we should be following instead of following what we follow?
Okay, let's think about that.
I just said this is controversial. I know a lot of people gonna jump at me and say, "Cashus was witchcraft, it's devil worship." No.
Let me ask you this, just so we can dive a little bit deeper, man. Do you know what the story says of why Satan was casted down as a fallen one?
Well, according to biblical text, in the Urantha, the celestial war started with the jealousy of man. All the angels or seraphims or cherubims, they were all created out of the smokeless fire. Lucifer was the only one that came into existence because Lucifer's a god himself or herself.
We finna go there now.
And Lucifer argued with God according to the Christian text about him giving dominion to man on the earth, and man was less than. And they schemed a scheme, the dark ones that rolled around Lucifer, the unclean spirits, the 7 archangels, the 7, what they call it, they actually call the 7 unclean spirits. And these 7 unclean spirits, and that was Beelzebub, Amadeus, Molech, Mammon. You see what I'm saying? And I forget the other ones, Beelzebub and Lucifer. They're all the different attributes and names of these spirits.
Sure.
These were the major ones. These were the generals to what they call the gates of hell. The gates of hell is a stargate.
All right, before we dive into the stargate, Ninja, I just want to say, man.
But let me go back to Lucifer. And Lucifer argued with the Most High, according to the story. And a war took place. And the Archangel Gabriel and Michael and Raphael, they expelled Lucifer and the dark ones to the planet to reign on the planet. They kicked them out of heaven, in other words. And they came to earth. And when they came to earth, they subdued mankind.
What you mean, subdued them?
They subdued could be, well, like we just said, they taught mankind.
They gave them the knowledge that wasn't supposed to be given?
Yeah. They gave them the cosmic God knowledge. And according to that, God made man in the garden to be simple. That's this Christian story now.
Interesting you say that, because when we talk about Lucifer, what is Lucifer known for, I guess, mainstream-wise, as the god of music in a sense?
Of light. The light bearer.
Okay, understood.
Those that bring the light.
Yeah.
The light bearer. And the minister of music and sound.
The minister of
frequency.
Music. Okay, understood.
And that's how our story ties into music.
Always do is
and
always
the unclean spirits.
Always a pathway to it, man.
One of the unclean spirits that we always talk about in this dissension of these dark forces, these dark ones that exist on this planet, they've been here for the last 2,000 years, according to the text.
Straight up.
You see what I'm saying? They've been in house for 2,000 years. They've been making weaponry of war and metals, and they've been doing the alchemy of man. You see, and they've been teaching man all the habits of war. You see, the conquering.
Wicked.
You see, so that's why you use the term "they wicked."
Yeah, very divisive, man.
So these unclean spirits.
You said the name Moloch up in there. That's
Moloch.
Moloch. That's still the same cat that you see at Bohemian Grove. That
the big owl up there that they go up there and bow to.
Straight up, man.
One of the ones we never talk about is Beelzebub.
Straight up.
The Lord of the Flies. War and sex. And he and everything. They done made cartoons about him. They and all kind of modern day stuff, movies. It's always Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies.
Straight up. A little spooky story to give real quick, man, about Beelzebub, man. You remember the Hell House over here in Gary, Indiana, right off of 39th in Carolina, man. They tore it down a few years ago. But there was some friends of the Ammons family that went in there, man. And this was during the time where all this stuff was going on. So when they would leave and go home, they would be getting on the computer. And one of the caseworkers, man, the Department of Child Services caseworker that was over there. Last name, we'll call her Mrs. Washington. I don't remember her first name, but Mrs. Washington, man. And she went back home and was using her computer, man. And she started having like her computer just cutting off on her and stuff like that. And there would be things popping up in her Google search for Beelzebub. You know what I'm saying? And Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub. So at this particular house, man, when all of this wicked stuff was going
The
on,
flies were everywhere.
there were flies covering the back
Yeah.
door, man, and they couldn't get rid of them. Every time they would push them out, man, the
Yeah.
flies would come back and just cover the door, man.
That's been the cases of a lot of places like that. And people would try to write it off and say, oh, that's, you might have had some sticky stuff. Well, you don't get out of here with that
Straight
shit.
up, man. You know?
Because, you know, they had a movie, Lord of the Flies, with the little
man.
boys on the island, how they became corrupt in spirit by no guidance. You see what I'm saying? They became beastly like.
That's
And they
this
became the
story.
Lord of the Flies. Beelzebub is in every TV show. See, the character of Satan that we see with the horns that look like this,
Yeah.
that's Beelzebub. See, we got two things. Some people say, no, that's the goat of Mendes. No, it's not. The goat of Mendes is a symbol of the horned goat sitting with the sun in one hand, the moon in the other.
Shit, man.
It has breast of a woman and the body of a man. It is both he and she. It represents the duality. That's what the goat of Mendes is. I mean, yeah, bafflement, as we would call it.
The goat of Mendes or Baphomet.
Bafflement. Same thing.
Same thing, right?
Yeah. Some say Mendes, the goat of Mendes, is symbolic of Baphomet is the name.
That's what we see as like the inverted pentagram.
Yeah, and he's sitting there with the sun in one hand, the moon in the other.
Straight up.
You see what I'm saying? Right higher than the left.
The duality
The
of life,
duality. Man. Both he and she.
Straight
both
up.
Man and animal. You see what I'm saying? The nature. And that we get that mixed up with Beelzebub. Beelzebub is to show us that they say is the devil in movies with the horns.
Most
You appear in a lot of the
always got
movies
like
with
the
the
goat
horns.
hooves and the horns on them, man.
Yep.
Wicked folk like so, man.
Yep. That's a deep concept, man.
It is, man. It make you think, man.
Y'all tell me what y'all think about that out there. We Lightwalkers. This is what we do. We drop the knowledge.
We got to question
We got the knowledge.
everything, man.
Hey, you got to look at everything. See, we just want to just do one kind of knowledge.
Absolutely. There's
don't
too
wanna look
much
at this
information
esoteric,
out there, man. There's too much information. We live in the information age. There's too much information out there for us to be, dragging behind, getting stuck to one concept, man. We have to keep that open mind, man, because when we could break stuff down like this and ask questions, it allows us to dive deeper and get to the root of it all, man. We're talking about the fallen angels. We're talking about Lucifer and Satan. These things get bad connotations, man. But what about the dualism in the world, man? This has to be applied somewhere along the lines of all of these stories, man. Because all of these stories teach.
But when we start talking about this stuff, we don't have enough research to draw a real conclusion. We draw a fantasy.
Overstood.
Most people, because that's how we've been taught it.
Straight up, man.
Okay, we always been taught the devil was a man with red horns and a tail with some ice water in his hand, a pitchfork.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we've been taught the devil was.
Yeah, no good like that.
We didn't look at the light bearers. We didn't look at Mama Nan. We didn't look at Azazel. We didn't look at people, things, deities like that. These are not Lucifer. These are the fallen ones.
Absolutely, man.
Now, I call this what it is because I saw things in my life. I've experienced it, especially when it comes to music. I've been around some real demons on demon time, some spooky people.
Spooky people because of the music, or that's just who they were in nature?
Yeah, that was who they was in nature, man.
And they just came.
I met a guy one time, man, name was Blue Boy, man. Not the gangbanger Blue Boy. This is Blue Boy Elf. He was from England somewhere. He had pointy ears and there wasn't no costume.
Straight up.
And he had on that one of them elf costumes. Like elf looking. He looked like an elf. And he was real.
Might not have been no costume, brother.
No, there wasn't no costume. I met him at with a house singer named Screaming Rachel. She introduced me to him. He was weird.
This was in the States?
Yeah, it was in the United States. He was from overseas. Oh, wow. And he was white.
Yeah, pale ghost like, man.
White.
Straight up.
White. Not white. White.
Don't get no more lighter, man.
Oh no, white. So there are these beings. Let's talk about Beelzebub. Let's go back to him.
Okay, most definitely.
Beelzebub is also involved in entertainment. Beelzebub is known to be the unclean one in entertainment. Each one of these unclean spirits deals in a house, government, entertainment. You see what I'm saying? Technology.
Straight up.
You see what I'm saying? All of them have a place in the house that they rule, that rules the world. Entertainment rules the world. Entertainment shapes the social engineering of people.
Straight up, man, worldwide.
So Beelzebub is something that's always been in entertainment. When you start hearing about records and them making records, these deities are on top of the records. Records were back in the day were taken to the master's carpet, to the floor, to a special room that they had, and they would bless the record in by putting the frequencies of the demons on it. Just like they created music masking when they played subliminal songs underneath the music.
Playing them backwards, man.
And you play them backwards. You be playing them forward, but it's rolling backwards. Everything that was considered in the satanic cult or the Luciferian, so we say satanic, that's different.
And that's what I want to get to, man, too, because I always get a little bit confused. It's like walking a fine line, man. Who is really the facilitator of all this, man? Is it Satanist, man? Is it Freemasonry? Is it some other type of secret club, man?
It's the dark forces. There is no name for them. They infiltrate all things. They infiltrate the world. There is no name for them. They appear in no name. They appear in everybody else's name, and they do the work. In music, once upon a time in music, there was black companies until all of a sudden it became WEA. All of a sudden it became Universal. You see? And it cut out the distributorship of black companies so they couldn't control the music, and it brought in a new imagery. The dark forces. They keep us in a sleep. They made a movie, Denzel Washington. He had this movie, man. The movie was called Fallen, where they were running, chasing another one of those unclean things. And it's real, man. A demonic possession is real.
Oh, man.
You can get possessed. I've seen people do some of the weirdest stuff, man. Especially in the era we in now with the megahertz frequencies and this one, it's easy to get possessed by something.
There's some strange things going on out there.
Man, speak about it. But I saw that look on your face. You talk, man, speak about it.
It'd just be strange what the music do to some people, man. And the way you see it change people's perception over time, man, or start to shape and mold their minds, man. And I say for myself, man, I'm fortunate enough to have got myself out of the frequency of the music, man, because I used to indulge in a lot of this wicked stuff, man. One thing that really trapped my mind years ago, man. I'm 30 now, man, but when I was in my teens, man, let's say 18 to 25, I was deep listening to like 666 Mafia and stuff like that.
Oh,
man.
They was deep.
You understand? And the things they was talking about, the killing, man, and you know, it's like
I thought it was me.
Nah, brethren,
I used to think I was the only one saw that.
Listen, man, when you get somewhere deep with the thing, man.
Go ahead.
So it was at a time, man, where all of us were listening to music like this stuff, man. I had this one brethren, man, this white boy, man, we used to be hanging with, and we put him on to he was hanging with us, man, blazing up and such, you know. So he was always jamming at 666, man, and all that deep Memphis stuff, man, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some type of frequency pumped through that stuff, man. But it got this cat to a point, man, where he was just, you know, he'd be like in his own zone, man, you know, headphones on, his own zone and such. Mm-hmm. And you always notice that something was like a little weird about him after some time. He used to play football with us, basketball, everything was normal cat.
Yeah.
You know, and just seeing the music he was listening to and how it was influencing his behavior and his personality, man. There came a time, maybe like a year or two later, when we was getting ready to graduate, man. He became very isolated, you know. I really didn't mess with nobody, man. He'd show up at parties and stuff like that, get plastered, man, be the life of the party, man. But he was very isolated and such, and always jamming music like so, man. And he wound up killing this girl, man, that came over to his house, man, and hit her body up in the ditch across the road, and we'd all be driving to school, man, and the body was there. Nobody ever knew about that thing, man. But I just wanted tell that story because to me, from my perspective, man, seeing how the music influenced him and kept him in such a one-track mind, as in like the subliminal message that may have been pumped into his brain, you know, through the frequency and through the wordage, you know, the lyrical content, man. It happens to be something deep, man. So I'm fortunate enough to have gotten myself out of listening to music like that, because I was having an influence on myself, becoming very dark and in my mind and such, you know, thinking about killing, man, and just maybe want to be in the streets more and pump up the volume, man, pump up the violence and such. It's a very wicked frequency that be pumped through that thing, man.
I was telling somebody one time I was at a Bone Thugs and Harmony concert, and they was chanting this song: murder, 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 more 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 murder, murder, murder.
See, they already had me vibing in my headphones, man. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine on these subsonic Sherwin-Vega subsonic super speakers.
Yeah, big woofers, man.
Imagine the energy in the crowd with the mantra they chant: murder, 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 more murder, 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 more murder, 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 more murder, murder, murder. And in the middle of it, they would holler, Mr. Ouija, are you with me?
Mr. Who?
Ouija.
Oh,
the
wow,
Ouija board.
brethren.
Now, I watch them on TV, on YouTube, stupid tube. I watch them on there, and I watch them talk about, you know, they didn't know about it.
That's what old Busy Bone be saying, man.
They didn't know what they was doing. But you unleashed a spell.
Straight up.
See how they understand the spell. And there was the unclean forces that duped them into that, because they wouldn't have never made that record. That record was taken and made. It was frequentized to be harmonic like that. And it was put on the airwaves to trap you.
Straight up. Under the spell of malt liquor, hard liquor,
and whatever product that they sell, and they selling you the alchemy.
Straight up,
from the
man.
blunts to the liquor, to everything.
We used
all
to be
that's
popping
in the
all that
stores.
stuff, man, because of the music, man. Real talk. I'll admit to all that stuff, man. Most people ain't got the cojones, man, to admit that stuff, bro.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to take a look into self, man, and see how this stuff has an effect on us, man.
In the 1990s, late 1990s, the unclean spirits, they were at work. You know, they put together the big meeting that happened, I think it was in 91, and they started declining the music. All the companies were told to switch the programming from the Public Enemy and Knowledge of Self, high resolution music. High resolution music. It was hard. To now the more lower frequency LA sound of Eazy-E and what they call gangster rap music.
Straight up, man.
Because they needed to turn you away from the high. See, if you kept going hollering, fight the power, you was going to fight the powers that be. Like
you seen the way that the Cultural Revolution came about from that, man.
And all you see everybody throw the black fist up. You see the African medallion was in it.
Yeah,
you
even
see
the wordage, man, the wordplay.
You see brothers going to college. They want to get educated now. We even got away from using the N-word. I'm going to say it like that. I ain't going to say the word. I'm going to respect it. The N-word.
Straight up, man. Y'all understand?
We even got past using that.
Wow,
He's calling each other, what up, B? What up, son? What up, God?
Wow,
we were using that, the 5% type of language like that. You see what I'm saying? So, in that, they changed the frequency, the mode of the frequency, and it took us into a lower base magnetics in the lower chakra. It really heated up. That bad fellow was fiery red.
Man.
And it took us more into a perverted stage. We started heading into perversion. That's where we're at right now.
Oh, that's where we at right now, man. Everything is you got to wear the least clothes, man. You got
we're in perversion.
The most plastic, man. It's become really warped, man, and it's really taking a toll on us as a people in general, man. Nobody is really in love with themselves no more, man. Which is first and foremost before you go out there and fight the power in the world, man. You have to have
Julie,
yourself, bro.
I'm gonna say something. Hey, Julie, I see you. I'll be at you. Call me. I got you. Call me. I got you, Julie. Yeah, you got it. They Ice-T. I mean, not Ice-T. He won too.
Oh, Sundance, say what up.
Sundance. What up, Queen? Ice-T. Ice-T and Ice Cube. All the ices.
I just seen the St. Ides commercial by chance.
I just tell me what
that.
you thought of that.
That was trippy, man, and what he was talking about.
That was spooky when they started having the West Side Connection.
Man, you seen all
the
yo, you should have seen in the video, man, all the symbols going up in there, man.
Yeah.
Throwing up this, that, and the other, man.
Yeah, but see, with the unclean spirits, when we start talking about that, and the demonic order is the demon is the difference from divination. Demonics is different from divination. Divination is in its highest. Divination is the word divine. Demonics is in the word demon, the low. It's even spoke on a lower frequency. And the demons, the unclean ones, are who we dealing with. There are tridimensional portholes that things cross through in times of a year. We just talked about the equinox being a couple of days ago. The porthole was open.
Straight up,
when the doors between spring and winter is open, the porthole, the veil is open. Things cross through. These spirits of these beings walk through. They walk through sound waves. You see? They had a movie, man. It was called The Shocker. But this guy, they put in an electric chair. And he said, I'll be back. And they electrocuted him. He burned up and he ran through the electricity, ran through the line. He was killing people in electricity. Like a demon. He come down, electrocute you while you watch TV.
Hey, these old movies, they got so many messages up inside them like that.
When rap music, I like to call it rap music.
Yeah.
I'm going to say rap music.
Yeah, because it got
not hip-hop, not hip-hop, not hip-hop.
Not at all.
No hip-hop.
No.
Rap music.
Keep it separate.
And y'all know when we come from, rap mean recording artists pretending.
Overstand? That's an
rap music. When rap music came and brought you the West Side Connection. Ice Cube, Mac 10, Dub C. Oh, what a connection. It connected the Crips and the Bloods together because Mac 10 a Blood, Dub C a Crip.
Straight up.
Ice Cube would never have a blue or red rag on. He had a black rag because he ain't nothing.
You're neutral.
He ain't nothing. That's O'Shea. Never been a gangster. A hell of a writer.
Understood.
And performer.
Straight up.
Not a gangster.
Easy was the gangster.
Listen, yeah, and a bunch of others. But when he came and he broke off himself, he was in demon time for a long time.
Straight up.
When they sold you the West Side Connection, this symbol, there's a Source magazine. I hope somebody out there watching us. There's a Source magazine that says the sorceress. I know I wasn't the only one that ever seen this. I used to have the pictures. I'm going to go down and look at my exhibits and see if I still got these pictures.
Yeah, most definitely.
It said the sorceress. It said Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Snoop Dogg are playing on you. So what? And it had the symbols like this, the West Side. And it had this figure, look like a white cross in it. If you look closely at the picture, you can see the eyes of the goat. They was right up over the picture. You can see his horns. That was his nose, that white cross thing, where his nose was. And it had the sorceress. I'm going to find that picture.
I got to have that, man.
This in the 1990s. When they said St. Ides, Ides is the name of the devil.
Straight up, man.
Ides is the name of one of the what they call the unclean ones. The dark force. The dark force works in dimensions. The dark force enters you in dimensions. It can enter you in church. You're not safe in church because church has become vanity.
Straight up, opening portal, man.
So in the early days of music, a vinyl record was important because spirits could be laid on the record. That's what made it a hit. And that's what gave the spiritual overtone in every house. You have to go back and study the history of vinyl. and why vinyl records are so expensive and valuable right now today. Like I said, Albert Einstein's greatest invention was what? Not Albert Einstein, I'm sorry. Not him. Thomas Edison.
Thomas Edison, yeah.
Thomas Edison, excuse me, y'all. Thomas Edison's greatest invention was what? Don't tell me no lights. You tell me lights, you so far behind. Because Lewis Latimer, Dr. Lewis Latimer created the lights.
He was the first, man.
Thomas Edison's greatest invention was the TV, television, sound noise. And they were on demon time when they made that because they were trying to get into the porthole.
Oh, straight up, brother.
You see? So, music, even right now, with the current state of music right now, it's really demonic. It's perverted. It's perverted. I've never seen a time like this in my life, man. This is deep. The time we living in right now is something else.
Oh, straight up, man. And it's got even my, and I speak from my generational perspective. It's got my generation, man, jacked up, man. You know, man don't love woman, woman don't love man. You know what I mean? It's taking the love out of everything. It's exploited every single aspect of the word love, man. You know? And
that's terrible.
Yeah, it becomes so wicked like so, man. And we just see the division, man, and how it keeps on getting deeper and deeper, man, and the way the world is being shaped and molded into a whole different spectrum. We talked about this the other day, about everybody always say, the new world order's coming, man. We living in the new world.
We've been in it.
We've been living
it's demonic.
It. Oh, man.
And the unclean spirits are all over it.
Oh, man, you smell it, man. You see it, you hear it, all the senses open up, man. We see if you in tune, that is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people walking around like they zombified in the world, man.
Well, they are zombified.
Straight up, man.
They zombified on a religious pretext, from the Muslim to the Hebrew to the Christian.
Woo.
You know, speaking of the Hebrew,
yeah,
I always hear the Hebrews talk about the 12 tribes and all that, the cats on the streets.
Yeah, most definitely.
I never hear them mention the book of Enoch or no books like that.
Nah.
And the Hebrew text.
Those are all part of the original text, man. You know?
Why they don't never mention them type of books?
I think because they being taught from higher up that, you know, you're not supposed to know these teachings.
They can come out there and tell us about the 12 tribes. All that stuff about the 12 tribes. But you're not going to tell us about the book of Enoch?
I think because it'll shake
Sumerian text, that's Hebrew.
I think it'll shake up the whole entire concept of religion, and it'll cause a collapse and then a revolution.
Okay, but ain't it supposed to be the truth? Ain't
yeah,
that what they hollering
absolutely.
The
truth? They're supposed to be hollering the truth, man. They're supposed to be, you know, preaching the word, man. You know, but I don't see it like that, man. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's being hidden, man, from man, because if we start to get a hold of this knowledge and overstand it, you know, then a revolution occurs, man. Religion, which has the word relig in it, which means to bind, you know, to keep a cord on somebody. You won't have that no more. It'll be taken away. You know, man will become free, and the mind will become free, and then we could have a deeper understanding of everything that is to be around us, because in one track mind, and that's how it being.
So let me ask you, what do the young people believe in today?
They don't believe in nothing, man. They believe in living the fast life, you know, money, cars, women, clothes, drugs. That's what they believe in. It's hard to find somebody in my generation, man, who adheres to the stuff that I'm talking about right now, man.
Because is that in every race you encounter?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just one, man, because the music, the frequency has reached not just here in the black neighborhoods, man. It's reached across all over the world, man, to where you have people of all different colors and creeds and overstandings jamming this stuff, man. And they got them repeating these things word for word. You know, these are word, sound, power, frequency, man. So it's got to have some type of spell that's being placed upon the people. And it becomes like you talk about, man, there's veils that are open at certain times of the year, man. Especially New Year's is a big one, man, where they have these certain artists coming around, man, before the ball to drop. You know?
Talk about it.
Yeah, man. You see these artists coming up, man, and they're wearing these particular colors. Like you might see somebody come up in a checkerboard suit, man. I seen this. I don't know if it was one of like the Atlanta cats, man. It might have been like the Migos, you know them cats, the Migos and stuff like that. 3 Amigos or something. Yeah, man. But cats coming out wearing a checkerboard suit, man, and then you see them with like they got like a hand hidden and stuff like that, man. And you see what they call Beelzebub or the Baphomet, like in one of Beyonce's outfits, man. She came out there wearing an outfit, man, looking like the
horns,
Baphomet, the horns, looking like the Baphomet. I seen Rihanna do that, man. I seen her do this at the Super Bowl, man, wearing an all red outfit, man. These things are symbolic in the sacrificial language, you know. So when they're doing these things at particular times of the year, when the veils are open, you know,
they're doing it for a reason.
It's a calling, you know.
I'm gonna tell you some occult Illyrian leprechaun demonic. You know, the leprechaunus was a demon. The leprechaun.
What's that from Drew? From
Ireland. From Irish.
Oh, Celtic.
Now they had leprechaunus. Leprechaunus was a demon.
Yeah.
Leprechaunus was, when they tell you the leprechaun looks for the gold at the end of the rainbow, the leprechaun protects the gold. The leprechaun is what they call stingy.
Yeah. Straight up. That's why you can never get. That's why you chase the rainbow, but you can never find the end of it.
Yep.
Because
what you call stingy.
You're chasing the leprechaun, man.
You're chasing the leprechaun. Every year, the leprechaunus is celebrating. This is a fact.
Is that what just recently passed?
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day?
Listen, man. One time I was at Harvard University.
Yeah.
Harvard is in Cambridge.
Straight up.
Okay.
Cambridge, Massachusetts, man.
Yeah, in Cambridge. And when you walk into the university, it was a modern day, you know, walk in, glass doors, but they had this old table. This table had to be from the 1600s with a white tablecloth over it with some pictures, like nice pictures. They was nice, like they was old.
Yeah, old
school. It was classic shit. On the table description was the leprechauns carved into it with faces like that.
This is when you went out there to do the
the Harvard Archives.
Absolutely, about hip hop.
Yeah, we did the Harvard Archives.
Wow, man!
And when we walked in bombarded, and we walked in, and everybody was like, "Oh my God!" And you could see the leprechauns carved in the table. And they had these demons with the fang looking teeth.
Yeah, straight up.
And little jokey joke, we was up in the hotel in Cambridge, right up in the university, and they had these blankets with gold fleece in them. And Righteous, my partner, Brother Righteous, goes tell us, I'm gonna take one of them blankets home. I said, and the leprechaun will be looking for me.
You're gonna be coming right to your doorstep, man.
They could killing me, need me shooting. Hey, listen, hey. So they had these this demon town, Chicago.
Pass me that bottle, brother.
Chicago does a ritual every year. We pay no attention to it.
Which one is this? When they dye the River Green?
When they dye the River Green.
Wow.
And all the Irish gather down there. And they play a special hymn on the bagpipes.
The classic one that we always hear?
Yeah. They're summoning the demon of O'Leary. Remember the story of Chicago, how it burned down at the river. Where it stopped
the Chicago fire, man.
That's where it stopped at
the river, man.
And they call on the demon to help. The river goes through a channel all throughout Chicago, downtown, that sacred area right there.
I watched the PBS documentary, man. They wouldn't touch on it any further than that, man. They said that there was some type of like mysterious. It was like there was some type of mysterious force or power at work the way that the fire was stopped, man.
And they call on it. That's what they dedication to dyeing the River Green.
Yeah.
That's why all the Irish gather down there. Celtic magic. See, all of these things are exposed through these beings that came and brought these sources of energy and magic. I told you they came to teach. Samazai came to teach magic and herbs. Now, why herbs?
Maybe because of like the spiritual or esoteric powers of them.
The medicine.
The metaphysical powers.
The heal.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. We're talking about the Celtic culture and stuff because red clover, one of the grand herbs right there, was it was like instead of putting flowers over your grave, man, when somebody passed away, they'd lay a blanket of red clover over the top of you because they had an understanding that it would be like an opening of the veil, man, something that was cleansing, pure, opening of the veil, so that you could transcend into the next realm or dimension.
Mugwort saying to be made into a sacred tea or smoked, it becomes clairvoyant. It's the dream enhancer.
Straight
The
up.
clairvoyant herb. You can go into a trance in it. Where it smoke this becomes what they call a wild hallucinogenic.
Straight up, man. You take these things in, man, and they almost, I shouldn't say they almost, but they do. They bring that connection between you and the other side, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It becomes something very deep, man. And to me, that's how it happened when I have my dreams, you know, and how they become lucid and such, man. It makes it such more profound when I take in things like the mugwort, you know. It's almost like taking away that veil in the dream world somehow, that understanding, that awakening, that consciousness.
This is why the book of herbs was taken out the Bible, so that you wouldn't go to the sacred medicines.
Absolutely, man.
This is why they created the Weed Act. See, there are people there are those fallen ones, those dark forces that exist in our healthcare and our food and our diet. Yeah. They exist in our eating habits. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I think that could be seen within the symbol of every hospital that we see. Even though we take it and we understand it as a symbol of goodness and as of health, the way that it was constructed and who constructed it, man. That's something we'll touch on in another day, man. But it's something deep, man. You know, the way that the symbol of this thing was constructed, and the way that we talk about how you could take one symbol from one culture and put a particular power over it, you know, so that every time you go to this hospital, you're under this Western medicinal spell, you know.
The staff of Cepheus.
There we go, man.
The medical
I'm trying not to go there, man.
Staff of Cepheus. You gotta know what that is.
Then we got the serpent crawling up in as well, man.
You gotta know what that is with the winged god, the winged serpent.
Straight up, man.
You see the winged serpent.
Emotep, man. That's
the so-called, I hate to use the word Egyptian. It's for the people that do that. Egyptian. Egyptian means burnt ones. It's a Greek word. Kemet is the closest we're gonna get to it.
Kemet, man.
And that's Greek too.
Straight up.
Yeah.
All of these words that we speak, man, we don't speak the dialect of Africa, man.
Well, that's the closest we're going to get to the thing, past that Egyptian thing. When we start hollering Egyptian, we get lost somewhere.
Oh, man, we get caught up in Egyptology and such, man. You know?
Yeah. Now, it's so funny when the Pope created Egyptology in the Council of Nicaea, they came with the first council, and they gave you Egyptology so that you wouldn't study the ancient texts. You wouldn't look at the stargates, and you wouldn't go into the third dimension, fifth dimension, seventh dimension. You wouldn't go through the portholes. You wouldn't enter the different realms that you could sit in different times.
You understand? All of these things were sacred places for people to tap in. Stargates, man. There's many different. I believe it might be the number 12 again. It's 12 or 16 vortices, man, that are laid out all across the earth, man. And these things create like a grid in a sense. And these vortices are supposed to be like where portals are. A lot of them lie on the 38th parallel. And what is the 38th parallel is a direction of latitude around the planet. And things like the pyramids in Egypt lie on it. Area 51 in Nevada lie on it as well. Some of the ancient Native American mounds lie on it.
They all line up. And those were the portholes for the 200.
There we go again, man. They're coming in and
remind you. For the 200.
Absolutely.
And they were coming through the portholes, and they each went into a direction to create perfection, to teach mankind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's deep.
I don't like to talk like that, but we Lightwalkers.
Straight up, man.
We're going to give y'all some subjects. We want you to have HIV. I want everybody out there to have HIV. That means have your information verified.
Real talk. The information age, man. There's so much out there, so make sure
y'all
do
information.
Research,
so when you hear us, don't just take our word. Look it up. Take notes. I think it's called Take Notes Productions.
Straight up, man. You know, once you become a light walker, man, once you start to understand, you know, you're able to discern a lot of the wicked stuff, the untrue stuff from what is potentially real and what is real, you know, and that's why we could talk this talk, man, because we bring about these questions. We sit here and we reason. We open up the mind, man, to where we could dive deeper and have a solid understanding of what's going on in the past and put it in present day, the ancient and the mystic of things, man.
Yeah.
Real talk.
That's why we're ancient mystics.
You understand?
We gotta do the knowledge, y'all. We gotta do the knowledge. We like to talk about these dark forces. We're really just getting into the prelude of a conversation that when you come out live, and we're gonna be streaming this week too, which is Sunday, March 26th.
Hey, right around the corner.
We're gonna be doing the Lightwalkers outdoors. Our first out of our studio podcast. We're gonna start moving it around. We got it like
nice,
that.
Cousin. Yeah, man.
And we're gonna be streaming it. Stay tuned for that. That's gonna be from 3 to 7.
Yep.
We're gonna have live broadcast over at 357 East 79th Street. That's right off King Drive in Chicago.
Yeah, man. Forward out.
You see? And you come out, it's limited seating, so you need to get up with us if you want to see. Also, the Ancient Mystics All Natural Products. Don't forget us. We got Nature Walk coming up. We got Koki Mounds trip coming up. We're gonna be going to find stuff like this. This is what we found this on a Nature Walk.
Straight up, man.
We found this. What you found in Dunes?
No, we found this right off of Harrison and like 29th right there by the nature preserve here in Gary.
Look at that.
Yeah, man. Real talk. That's another thing, another symbol that gets a bad connotation as well, man. They always say that this represents like evil and such, man.
Yeah, they represent a baby deer.
You understand? That's all it represents to the eye, man. You know? It's something cool, man.
Wow. Look at that. We found a lot of stuff on the Nature Walks. Arrowheads, turtle shells.
Oh, man.
That's something y'all can really check us out with.
Came across
Snakes, yeah. That's the first time we've seen one in a long time last year.
Yeah, that was very interesting, very intriguing, man. You know, we always have some interesting encounters on these trips, man. So y'all got to forward out, man. And,
we got sweat lodges coming up too now. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We got sweat lodge coming up. That's gonna be coming up. The next sweat we got coming is in April.
Right around the corner.
I'll be posting it very soon. We call it the Fire Church. Join us for the Fire Church. Look for the Fire Church flyers. Also look for your Fire Church herbal session. I got a box of herbs, comes with 7 pieces in it. These 7 pieces of fire herbs. It's for pain, joint pain. It's for stomach pain. It's for your mind. You know what I'm saying? Your body, your spirit, and your physical and spiritual aura. So stay tuned for the Fire Church products, Ancient Mystics All Natural Products. You see what I'm saying? Lord Cashus D.
Brethren Chris Lyon, man.
You know, this has been Lightwalkers. We hope y'all walk in the light. We'll see you hopefully Sunday. Everybody look at it, tune in, tell somebody about it, like it and share it. You know what I'm saying? Leave something in the comment section about it so we can know how you feel about us. I love y'all and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Peace.